We're back. Welcome to another rapid fire edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show. We're just going to keep this simple and clean. We're just going to talk about what happened tonight in the association and preview tomorrow's games and go from there.
What didn't happen today? Jesus.
Oh, a whole lot of stuff, but we'll dissect of what happened in the capital city of California. Meanwhile, in the city of brotherly love, the Liberty Bell rolling got cracked as the 76ers played some old school Eastern Conference basketball today.
Low scoring.
And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, it was a low scoring Eastern Conference game, but nonetheless, the 76ers are halfway to the semifinals with a 96-84 victory over the Brooklyn Nets.
I'll drink to that.
As they were pired by the former Wildcat by Tyrese Maxey, who led the way.
What's up with the Wildcats balling out, man? Maxey, Monk, Fox? Fuck.
I don't know, but Mr. Maxey took the
33 of them things.
Took the mantle today and said, "Guys, hop on. I'm going to lead today." As he was the leading scorer, he had 33 points to lead Philadelphia. While Embiid had almost had a 20-20 game. Had
almost
20
fucked
points.
Around too.
And yes, he did. He almost had the triple double, 20 points, 19 boards, and 7 assists. And Tobias Harris himself had a nice double double, 20 points, 12 rebounds.
I need that consistency all the playoffs. I need that consistency.
As the whole starting five for Philly was a whole plus.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker was 8, Harris was plus 9, Embiid plus 14, Maxey plus 17, and Harden plus 5.
I don't know how. When he was having she had a shitty game.
He shot the ball horribly, no question about that. Didn't even take a 3-point shot attempt, or he was 2 for 8 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even get to the free throw line.
But the referees did not make some right calls in that game, which it seemed like it was a fudged up ref day. I mean, evening for both games. But the inconsistency of the whistle was just horrendous today.
Well, considering that the Nets only got to the free throw line 17 times, Philly only got there 16 times. But I guess if you want to say if there was a difference, Philly was 13 of 16 from the line, as opposed to the Nets 11 of 17. But yeah, I don't want to make the Zebras the story
because that's not what we're about. That's not what we don't do. But
so far, they have been the story. It's just like we always try to say, let them play, because you get to the postseason, they've earned the right to get there. Let the players decide the game, not the referees. But at the end of the day, Brooklyn cannot get no help other than Johnson and Bridges. Johnson at 28.
You know what?
Bridges at 21. Go ahead.
That young man wearing number 1 for Brooklyn. I mean, he's just a tremendous basketball player. I mean, he didn't have a great first half, but when he decides he wants to score and take over a game, Mikal Bridges is a tremendous baskall player. Just outstanding.
Well,
does it right.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have a dear friend of mine that is a diehard Phoenix Suns fan, and she was pissed that Bridges was part of the Kevin Durant trade. She was emphatically pissed that Bridges had to be traded to get KD. She was not happy at all.
He was a Sixer for 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. The Sixers drafted him, and I forgot who traded him for. But yeah, he was a Sixer.
Not even a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Boy, could you imagine him with Embiid? Sorry.
But I don't think if we have Mikal Bridges, we don't have Tyrese Maxey, and I'm happy with Maxey. The man is on the young man. Excuse me. Well, he is a man because he was out there balling like a grown ass man, but he's only 22 years old.
It's only gonna get better.
Hell, he hasn't improved each year he's been in the league. So something is clicking. Or Harden. You know what? Harden literally has put that young man under his wing, and you can clearly see that he has somewhat of that scoring mentality that Harden has. So Harden is rubbing off on him a little bit, and just give him the good side of Harden. Don't give him the playoff Harden. We want the regular season Harden so he can translate in that to the playoffs. But yeah.
Well, the bench was not a factor as they each only contributed 15 points on each side.
It was a typical East game, like you said, a typical Eastern Conference game.
Yeah, it was old
Did he
school
play? Turnovers here and there. It was just whoever took over in the second half was going to win that game.
Well, despite the fact that Philly had 19 turnovers, they managed to still get the win by 12 points, as they did commit 19 turnovers in the Nets.
They can't do that against the Celtics or Boston. I mean, Boston or Milwaukee.
But Milwaukee has bigger fish to fry because the question is the back of Giannis, will he go in game 2?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as we preview the games in the conference. Then we turn to the night's game as the Warriors face a deficit they have never faced in the Steve Kerr era, which is being down 2-0. Now, granted, yes, Kings did enough to do what they had to do to win the game. Now, if you take away Sacramento's second quarter, which they scored 41 points, the scoring was practically even. Warriors had a 6-point lead at the end of one. Sac got out in the second quarter, had a 6-point lead at that 58-52. We did say Sabonis will not have a crappy scoring game again, and he was not. He shot 8 of 12 from the field, had 24 points, 9 rebounds.
And if you're gonna call Draymond Green dirty, you might as well should put Sabonis' name in there as well. Well, I'll dabble in that after my brother finishes after he finishes what he's doing.
Well, I mean, what has been the biggest pet peeve in the Steve Kerr era when it comes to the Warriors has been
live and die with the fucking 3.
That, but more specifically than that, turnovers.
Oh.
Warriors turned the ball over 22 times, and a lot of it was, they forced it themselves.
Well, hell, they opened up the game with a turnover. That's how you knew the game was going to be bad. The way they just.
The Warriors shot better from the free throw line.
Yep.
Shot better from 3-point range.
Yep.
Shot better from the floor.
Yep.
But yet they lost by 8
turnovers.
And
a little bit of the Zebras, with a little bit of assistance with the Zebras. More of the Warriors beat themselves more than the Zebras helped the Kings win that game.
Well, I agree because the Kings led in fast break points with 17, led by points in the paint, 54-40. They had one more foul in Sacramento, 26-25. But again, the situation where Domantas Sabonis, who is a fantastic player, very skilled player, just like his father,
hands down.
If you never saw Arvydas Sabonis play,
look up Portland highlights.
The film. And unfortunately, he came to the NBA too late because when he was in his prime in Lithuania, he was fantastic. Was a big man that could shoot the ball, big man that could shoot the 3. Shaq did not like playing against Arvydas Sabonis because
he had to go guard him.
He had to go guard him because he's a big man that can shoot.
Just like his son. Just like his son.
Anyhow, situation where Domantas Sabonis grabbed Draymond Green's leg, and Draymond Green commits to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin and stomp a mud on him and walk it dry, which unfortunately, because Draymond Green has the reputation and his reputation precedes him because he has the name, Draymond gets ejected. Of course, He egged on the Sacramento Kings fans crowd in the Golden One Center. Kings fans obliged. Thus,
Did you see the dude giving the middle
um,
finger, the double bird, double stone cold? Did you see that?
yeah, the one finger salute. But Shaq, if you watched Inside the NBA, Shaq said, "I would have done the same thing Draymond Green did." So
If you look at the film properly, you kind of saw that Draymond was trying to help him up until you recognized that he was grabbing him by the leg. And where was he supposed to go? He's trying to run down the court to get back in the game. Now, yet, you know what I'm saying? He did do the A-Town stomp on him a little bit, but Sabonis kind of pushed it, egged it on. Like, I mean, come on. He turned into a WWE wrestler right there, man. You know.
no, you know who was in the building, number 21, and as I say, he was a proud student of the Vladi Divac's School of Flopping.
Yeah, you know, they talk every day. I mean, they probably gotta inside the Golden One Arena. This is where you learn to flop.
To you by Professor Vladi Divac.
Yes, and
Which again,
co-owned by King Floppy himself, Mr. LeBron Ballheaded James.
well, here was something that was rare to see. When was the last time you saw Curtis James Jackson III and Floyd Mayweather
In the same
peak in
building.
the same building at the same time? It's been
that shit was all for publicity, man. That was all fun and games, man.
it's like what the hell? It's like what the hell Floyd's doing in Sacramento. I mean, we've seen Floyd plenty of times inside Oracle and at Chase Center, but Floyd in Sacramento, in capital Cowtown. But anyhow, I mean, because I mean if the Warriors got any additional scoring from Mr. Poole, who struggled mightily,
Oh, he
shot
should have
four.
been benched a long time ago. He was
Yes,
out there. He looked lost. It's like
yeah.
you look lost, and you were just in the finals last year, balling your ass out.
Oh, some would say, well, he got paid, and then once he got paid,
Oh well, we know about athletes getting paid and deciding
yes,
that they got a paycheck and like, oh, I did what I needed to do.
yeah. Because I mean, Wiggins was at 22, Curry at 28,
I
Clay at
told you.
21.
What I tell you. I said Wiggins will start number one,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
he won't have it. He scored more. His defense is still outstanding, but you can clearly still see that he's still trying to get accustomed to playing with his teammates again.
And on that, GP2 came off the bench, gave some good minutes, scored
Oh,
13.
and he was wait. He was hitting threes.
He was 2 or 3 from beyond the arc.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only contributor to the bench, as I said. DiVincenzo didn't even shoot the ball at all, which is rare.
But let me chime in. What do we always say when it comes to this basketball team? And when they do it, it's like the passing, the cutting, the moving of the ball. When the Warriors run their goddamn offense, I said GOT, when they run their goddamn offense, I don't believe anybody in this league can stop it.
Other than themselves.
And well, clearly when they start shooting 3-pointers, they literally beat themselves. But for like that 20-5 run, was that my Sixers that did 20-5 run? Or was the Warriors that did a 25 run? Well,
the Warriors' biggest lead in the game was 7 out of the whole entire game.
Well, one of the runs they did, you saw consecutive moving of the ball and running the offense, and the Kings did not stop it. And I want to allude to what Holbert said on as I was listening to the Warriors broadcast. What he said was,
Mr. T, Tom Tolbert.
Yeah, Tom Tolbert. What he said was the offense. He said there was no. They shot the ball too much. They literally shot the ball too much, and Curry was more efficient shooting the 2 ball than he was shooting the 3 ball. So
he was 3 of 13 from beyond the arc, 7 of 8 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
9 of 21 shooting overall.
Yeah. And what also
Clay
what
shot
Tober
the
said, I'm finishing this what Tober said. What Tober said is that the Kings defensive wise can't stay in front of the Warriors. So why are they not driving the lane more? They really don't have a predominant shot blocker, you know.
no,
So
because Sabonis really is not a rim protector
no,
per se.
no, they don't have a rim protector. They got rid of him. So what I'm saying is, why are they not attacking a little bit more? Because they're a 3-point shooting team. And one more thing, Looney will not have a bad game again. Looney was just everybody looked confused to me out there, and I don't know why. I don't get it. It was a day and night from game 1 to game 2.
Well, the funny thing is about that though, Looney shot the ball well. He shot 37 from the floor, but I mean,
Yeah.
the
It was a lot of
he,
bonehead mistakes out there.
yeah, it
It
was.
was,
But I promise you this: Chase Center is going to
it's
Chase
going to
Center
be
is
just as louder than Golden One.
Chase Center is about to turn into Oracle in Game 3.
And see, this is what I was telling. I said I won't. I said I told Kings fans at work. Oh, boy, they was giving me the business. They tried to give me the business, but I was like, I said that's cool. They're like, are you nervous? I'm like, no. I said, do you remember 3-1 to the Thunder? Okay, this team know what to do. But I also said is bring that same energy that arena was bringing to San Francisco, because I guarantee you what, it's going to be a whole different atmosphere.
A whole bunch of Earl Stevens being played. That's for damn sure.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that the whole playlist is E40. They gonna feel it. They gonna feel it. But like you just said, Oracle is about to come to San Francisco. You don't understand.
Big
Kings fans,
ATM, the big ATM on Mission Boulevard is about to understand.
I'll say this: the Kings fans, y'all did a hell of a job. Hell of a job supporting your team getting back in the playoffs. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, you finally sold out the arena. You guys wasn't doing it when they were, playing just regular basketball. I mean, I get it. I get it. I understand. But what you're about to witness is a fan base. We're gonna kill you guys with kindness. That's what we're gonna say about that. You know, you might, we're too classy. You might see a few birds, but you won't see on national TV a Warrior fan giving De'Aaron Fox the double bird. But just be prepared. It's gonna be, that game is Sunday? No, Thursday. No. Yeah, Thursday, right?
Oh, Game 3 is Thursday at the big
Damn it.
ATM in San Francisco, California.
Damn it. I'll be at work.
We do have a triple header tomorrow, to where you can catch 2 of the 3 games on TNT and
One on NBA TV.
on NBA TV. But nonetheless, the Kings do get the win, and they are up 2 games to none with a 114-106 victory. Like I said, here's the question, and here's my biggest question. And it's quite simple, and it's this simple. Like I said, De'Aaron Fox is going to get his
Yep.
regardless.
Yeah.
And I think you could put Sabonis in the same thing, but it's can Kevin Herter and Davion Mitchell, but more importantly, Malik Monk. Can Malik Monk bring that in to Chase Center, where we know how the Warriors are when they're at home? And a lot of people are saying it's going to be 2-2 going back to Sacramento when they do go back to Game 5. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now, on to tomorrow. Kicking it off is the Hawks and the Celtics Game 2 on the parquet floor that you can catch on NBA
Yeah, that's
TV.
the one.
They are giving Boston -10 as they led wire to wire, 112-99. If the Hawks are gonna get a game, it may be tomorrow. but I just don't see it. I'm expecting Boston to take a 2 games to none lead, heading back to the ATL. Um, the Celtics are 32-9 at home for a reason. Um, it just, of course, they just happen to play well on the parquet floor, and of course, Tatum being Tatum, Brown being Brown. But again, I think the key thing is the Celtics controlling the glass and playing on the defensive end. I just don't see Atlanta getting the win in game
Nope.
two.
No.
Now, perhaps the best game of the evening might just be again the Knicks and Cavaliers as they go into game two of their series. Even though I do think Cleveland will win tomorrow to even the series to go back 1-1 to the
Really?
Garden. Well, truthfully, I can see it both ways. I can see the Knicks going up 2 games to none. I can see Cleveland evening the series. Now, again, I said Knicks in 7. I'm sticking with my prediction. But I here's the thing: if somebody can help scoring with the Spider, and that's what's going to come down to, because again, the Spider is going to get his, because that's just who he is. Donovan Mitchell is going to get his.
Yeah, most definitely.
Here's what aligns for the Knicks. If if Rhino gets a little bit healthy and does more, because Jalen Brunson is going to get his,
You already
because
you talk about mouth.
Jalen Brunson is that guy. But again, if Quickly gets going for the Knicks, and if Josh Hart continues to be Josh Hart to help with the Knicks,
Straight up.
what does it come down to? Although Dylan Winder is day to day with a foot, so you got to keep that in mind for Cleveland. But
You
the
do.
Cavaliers need scoring from all. So, I mean, you take it for what it's worth, but I still think the Cavaliers will do enough to even the series at a game apiece. But it will not surprise me one bit if the Knicks go up 2 games to none. But I think the X factor, possibly in this game tomorrow, I think the X factor for me is RJ Barrett. If
There
he
you
gets
go.
going,
There
if
you
he gets
go.
going in game two, if he gets going in game two, that's going to be a problem for Cleveland.
There you go. Because what I was gonna say is I don't see Jalen Brunson starting off like he did game one. I
No,
think he's gonna come out, he's gonna be very, very involved early and try to make his be known real quick. Julius Randle was gonna, I think, have a better game. But RJ Barrett, yeah, you got to go off what RJ Barrett could possibly do. Now, if he goes off, watch out. That could be huge for the Knicks. But I think the Knicks can pull it off. It'll be a close one. I think the ball will be in the Spider's hand to try to either go to overtime or win it. But I believe the Knicks might find a way to pull that one out. I think the Cavaliers will get one in the Mecca.
mm.
I think they'll get one. I think they'll get one in the Mecca. But I don't Knicks in 7, because that means they'd have to win in Cleveland.
well,
I can see the Knicks
well,
in 6.
well. I mean, I only say in 7 because
I think I did say the Knicks in 6 on our.
you said Knicks in 6, I said in 7.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But
Still.
again,
Yeah. I'm gonna stick to that.
but on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
when they go to game 3 inside the Mecca that is Madison Square Garden,
The Knicks will win that one.
you want to hear about you want to see passion?
Yeah.
Just watch
Yeah.
anything playoffs in Madison Square Garden, whether it's the New York
Hell.
Rangers, whether it's the New York
Yeah.
Knicks.
Yeah.
That building,
It,
it's what makes Madison Square Garden special. I'm just telling you.
I would
Like,
have to say that it can go the Knicks in the playoffs, Boston in the playoffs. You can now throw the Warriors when they're in the playoffs because it's pretty loud. The Lakers. No, well, I wouldn't even say the Lakers, because the Lakers just show up regardless. Their team can be shitty as it has been in years past, and they still come out there and it still be loud as hell. So yeah.
Although to me, and this is just my 2 cents, to me, I think the Forum was a better home court advantage than Staples Center.
Well, yeah.
That
Just like
that
how it was structured for how the noise went in that arena. So the Forum, that was a big top. Just like the Oakland Alameda, how that was structured.
Coliseum, yes,
Yeah, that
yes.
was structured for when the Warriors started to win. You started to get the depth of what that stadium can bring with the fans. So yeah,
Even when he used to seat only just 15,000,
yeah,
it would get loud.
indeed, indeed. Yeah,
It, it
wow, we've been that. Wow.
I mean, I get why they build these big arenas because they want more luxury suites. It's all about corporate and sponsorships.
Yeah.
But some of them old school arenas, though, I mean, you just want to talk about just pure madness of loud fans. I really do miss the old arenas. I mean, the old Boston Garden, the fans were just on top of you, and it would get ridiculously loud. Of course, the old Spectrum in Philadelphia, where Philadelphia
Yes.
be Philadelphia. I mean, it was right on top of you. Um,
Yes.
the old Seattle Coliseum in Seattle when the Supersonics were around would
Ooh.
get ridiculously loud.
Well, it was a
Astro,
baseball team. What was
the
the
Kingdom,
Kingdom? There we
the
go.
Kingdom was one of them.
That's your Monday Night Football.
The Kingdom was a tremendous home field advantage and would make noise. If you don't believe me, watch the NFL films. It'll tell you about the old Kingdom
Hell,
in Seattle, Washington.
Pops went to the Kingdom when the Raiders they were still in that division.
Oh,
Yeah, the Pops has seen the Kingdom.
it's a loud, 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 loud building. About it. We talked about the old Madhouse in McDowell, the old Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, loud as heck. The old Memorial Coliseum in Portland, where it only seated 13,000, was loud. Um, the old Chicago Stadium before they moved to the United States, or Chicago Stadium, the crowd on top of you was ridiculously not loud and
Yes.
noisy. So, you know, I guess I get why they make the old arenas, but sometimes just the old school arena with the old school feel just
Just works. Just works. Just works.
it just works. It carries teams to a win. But I agree. Randall will bounce back. Like I said, if RJ Barrett gets going
Oh
with
yeah.
heart and
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
to go along with Brunson and Randall, the Knicks do have a chance to come back home up 2 games to none against the Cavaliers. And then still trying to figure out how the Clippers stole game one away from the Suns, but it happened. And now the Clippers have a chance to take a 2 games to 1 lead against the Suns at the old America West Arena
Yeah.
on.
I don't see KD letting that happen. Sorry.
At the same time, it's why were the Suns not giving KD the ball in crunch time
Mm.
down the stretch? That that
Mm.
that 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 lies into be a question. But
Mm.
again,
Is there a trust issue? Because I'm
well,
sorry. I'm sorry. You saw what Steve Kerr let KD do in Cleveland. He brought the ball up. He pulled up, and everybody knew when KD pulled up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's butter. Hey, bro, we getting the championship shirt. When KD pulled up, I'm like, yeah, we getting the championship shirt. It's over.
as you would say, the card is ready.
Oh, the credit card is ready. Hey,
But
hey.
there was tremendous balance by the Clippers in game one. They had tremendous balance of scoring.
It was.
I mean, you had
Even
Kawhi with 30.
Westbrook was balanced.
Well, not scoring wise, but on the defensive end, his
That's
block was a key block late in the game um, to deny Devin Booker. Um, but I mean, there was balance. I mean, Powell at 14, Man at 10, Plumlee at 7 on the bench, Gordon at 19, Zubat, who is very underrated and does not get enough credit.
yeah, but he does this though a lot.
He's a roller coaster,
Yeah.
but when he's on,
Oh,
he can be
100.
he can
Yeah.
be a force, and he was. He had 12 and 15 in game one. Of course, the Claw decides he wanted to have a San Diego State flashback. San Antonio slash San Diego State flashback and at 38. Um, which begs to ask the question: if PG-13 was there, would it slightly put the edge in the Clippers? But in the Clippers' favor, we don't know. But for the
Well,
Suns,
take,
um,
that's taking away a good shot, a shooter.
yeah. But for the Suns, again, it all comes down to number three. Chris Paul has to set it up. He has to be the straw that stirs the drink. Chris Paul cannot have a 2 for 8 shooting night in only 7 points. Now, granted, he was a +6, but him not being the factor that was, even though he had 7 points, 10 rebounds, or 11 rebounds, and 10 assists, it's just the scoring wasn't there.
Oh, okay. I didn't get a chance to see the game. I listened to it, so
We'll see tomorrow what will happen, but I agree with you. I think this is the Suns' get right game.
yeah.
They will head to crypto.com arena, aka Staples Center. I think it'll go back even 1-1. If the Clippers somehow steal game two, that might be a problem for Phoenix. It might be a problem, even though you can never count the Suns out. But
No,
again,
no.
Booker hasn't been in this territory. Neither is Chris Paul. Durant has per se, but again, that just remains to be seen. So, just to go over, we both like Boston in game two.
Yes.
Um, even though I did say I think the Cavaliers will take game two, you say the Knicks will take game two and go up 2 games to none.
I think they got it. I think that because Jalen Brunson ain't gonna have a start like he did in game one. I believe he'll be more consistent and balanced. And yeah. And RJ Barrett might have a great game.
It's true too. So he likes the Knicks. I like the Cavaliers to even the series, even though it would not shock me one bit if the Knicks do go up 2 games to none. And we are both picking the Sun to rise again and to give the Suns to even the series at one apiece against the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, fast forwarding to Wednesday, we have game two of the Lakers, Grizzlies, Heat and Bucks, and the Timberwolves and Nuggets. Um, the Lakers will kick off the Wednesday tripleheader on TNT at 4:30 p.m. The
Oh,
Heat and Bucks you can catch at 6 p.m.
yes, I'm off. I'm off that.
on NBA TV, and the nightcap will be the Nuggets and the Timberwolves on TNT with Denver being up a game
Yeah,
apiece.
you already can count. You can already count me picking the Denver to win that one to go
I,
two.
I I think it's going to be a sweep for the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets will sweep their
Yeah,
way into
yeah,
into the semifinals.
I agree.
Of course, the ultimate question is Ja Morant going to play? As it stands right now,
You said
as
he
of
hurt.
today, he's doubtful. So we don't know. For the Lakers, there's no injured players to go. Um, here's the thing: if Austin Reeves has another game like that in game one to help contribute, it might be a problem for the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, as much as the talent John Moran is, he can't do it all alone. But at the same time, they lost by 16, even though despite the fact that they put up 112, they gave up 120 to Lakers. And again, not having Steven Adams does not help. True enough. Um, the Lakers got contribution scoring from a lot of guys with Reeves and Hachimura. Can Hachimura have another game like that? We don't know because he shot the ball as emphatically as you could. Um, Same thing with Reeves. You think Vanderbilt will have a strong game, but at the same time, you have to give Jackson some help. Even though Jackson was tremendous, he had 31.
Yes.
Bane had 22. Dylan Brooks had 15. But got to be contribution off the bench for Memphis. If that does not help, that's going to be a problem. Luke Kennard, they traded you for a reason. You
Yeah,
are a
he hasn't been shooting very well.
No, he has not. But this is the reason why they got him to add some shooting. He's got to come up and play. He's got to come up and play big for Memphis.
Mhm.
For the Lakers, again, you're one Anthony Davis vaginal tearing away from being in trouble. The way he hurt his arm just looked like he was like, bro, are you really that soft where you can't feel your arm? Really? But that
Probably
remains.
got hit. They probably hit a nerve, man. We'll give him the benefit of doubt on that one.
The nerve is supposed to make you be like, I can't feel my arm. Maybe if you hit the funny bone. But as much as I'm getting ready to go take a sip of water because this is yeah, exactly.
That's why I was looking at my cut.
If John Morant can't play, my mouth out. Good lord. John Morant can't play.
I'm just gonna say it I'm just gonna take it after I say it because it's gonna hurt. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh,
Go ahead. Man,
I'm done.
look, the Lakers gonna win this game. Next.
Now the other question
Ugh.
is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Can
Mm,
he play? As it stands right now, he is
mm.
doubtful. We know this. Tyler Hero is out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I didn't even see how he did it too, and I've watched
We
that highlight like multiple times. I can't see
was
it.
reach. He was reaching for a loose
Right,
ball,
but
and I think that's how it happened.
did he land? I know I saw that he was reaching, but like, where did it? I can't
Where did
see.
the break? Where did the break happen? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess the angle of the camera, which they got like 9,000
Yeah, they do.
cameras, but we ain't
They
gonna see.
do.
Whatever.
They do. But um, if Giannis can't play, um, I don't know if Milwaukee has enough offense to keep up with Miami.
No, I
Um,
think Miami would have won that game even if Giannis was playing.
and you did say that. You
I
did say that.
That's just how I
Um,
feel.
but Jimmy Buckets is on another mission. He is determined to get back to the finals. Um, I think Miami goes back home to South Beach up 2 games to none. I just do.
Honestly, the way they gonna miss Heroes threes though.
Yeah, they're gonna miss this 3 point shooting. No
He
question. No
does
question.
play. He does play some good defense, but hell, even if Giannis decides that he wants to dress up and play, we don't know how what
Effective he's
percentage
gonna be.
at. So I'd have picked the Heat. I mean, even though I still got the in the beginning before Giannis got injured, I did pick the Bucks to win this one. I think what did I say 4-4-2?
In six, in six, yes.
I thought Jimmy would at least get two to put on his back, but right now I can see it going seven, and I think
I did say
that he can pull this off, even if Giannis does come back, because this is a back injury.
it is.
If
And
they
back
don't rest it,
sometimes like the
you gotta
backs
sometimes you gotta rest the back.
back sometimes does what it wants to do.
Your buddy.
That's just how it is. But I did say before it all started, I said if a team can be upset in this first round, the
Facts.
Heat can upset the Bucks.
Facts.
Um,
Bring a smile to my face.
and, and that's just what it is because Eric Spoelstra stays true to himself. He stays true to who he is. He stays true to his principles. And Miami has always been a well coached team.
What
And
does
of
that sound
course,
like? What organization does that sound like?
some team that currently holds the crown that everybody is trying to chase.
Yeah,
That, that
that organization too. But where did he get that San Antonio, the
oh yeah,
fundamental?
the
It just
fundamentals.
it sounds just like Greg Popovich. You just literally just explained Greg Popovich in Spoelstra.
But and the credit to Spolstra, he learned from the great Pat Riley, who has always been all about
Well,
structure and
well,
order, and that's why Pat Riley probably Pat Riley probably next to Jerry West are two of the best basketball executives I've seen in my lifetime.
Slick as
which
hair.
obviously they worked hand in hand back in the 80s during Showtime when Pat was the head coach and the logo Mr. West was the GM. But the reason why Pat has become a successful executive is because of being around the logo Mr. Number 44 in Mr. West. So
Facts. Facts.
it's not surprising that Pat Riley has put together a tremendous, great, strong organization, and he just still has tremendous hair, even though he has become the
Gang.
the silver fox. But the moose game is still strong for Pat Riley.
Still strong.
I'm just telling you, but
Hey, I want to know who his hairstylist.
Right?
That's what I know. Get
He makes
paid.
he makes their look so good. And let me just say this. Um to Miami Heat fans, if your beloved Heat do go up 2-0 in against the Bucks, show up on Saturday. Don't
Mm.
be late arrive. Don't be like Laker fans and be late arriving. Don't do that. Don't. With the exception of Jack Nicholson, because Jack Nicholson was never late. Jack Nicholson was always there on time watching Laker playoff basketball. But if you're the Heat fans, show up early. Show up early. Wide out the arena. But don't be late arriving. Don't do that. Don't do that. But
And don't walk out on your team.
yeah, don't do that either. But United Capper, really not much to say about the Nuggets and T Wolves.
Yeah.
The
Sweet.
Nuggets are just the better team,
Sweet.
and I would expect the Nuggets to sweep Minnesota and just end their misery and end their season. Even
Yeah.
though good for Anthony Edwards to get some playoff experience, and hopefully they can bounce back off that. But unfortunately, we both agree the Lakers will win Game 2. We both are picking Miami, despite if Giannis plays or not plays. But if he doesn't play, that's the big factor. Big factor to where the Heat can go up 2-0 and we agree that the Nuggets will go up 2-0 on Nuggets. Interesting question. I want to run by you. It's new NBA CBA.
Mm.
How do you feel about it? Um, Now you have to be at least eligible for 65 games to win the MVP award.
I like that. I like that part.
Now that I do like.
Yeah.
Um,
Run the things in the CBA, and I'll answer as you bring it to me.
let me bring it up here.
Well, I knew that the playing for the MVP, that's important. That yes, you should be on the floor playing and improving your team. They should add that shit too. Improving your team.
Okay, so it's a 7-year agreement.
Yes.
10 of deals can be opted out after 6 years, but it has to be approved by both sides, respective constituents. So at the Thursday deadline, if neither side opts out, the 13-year stretch looks to be between the last lockout in 2011 and then there'll be one of the longest sustained periods of games without a labor stoppage in recent history. Of course, there was a lockout in 96, 98, which led to the 50-game season. And then in 2011, the season was short to 66 games. The new deal will keep the existing brand of player share of basketball related income between 49 and 51%. The union was willing to accept this because the BRI has risen from $4 billion to an estimated $8 billion in the next couple of years due to the $24 billion TV contracts that Turner Sports and ABC/ESPN dished out. So the
24
players
billion.
24 billion with the deal they have with TNT and ABC/ESPN. So NBA players will get a large percentage of revenue streams, such as arena signage, according to sources. So increases across the board in player contracts, maximum player salaries, minimum salaries for veterans with 10 or year more service, players with 5 or more years service, rookie players on their rookie scale contracts, and players who sign under the mid-level exception will all increase. So
does the minor leaguers have their own?
G League, that I do not know.
No, what I mean is for their like contracts. and stuff like that, how they get paid? Do they have anything like the MLB? I mean, like the big leagues,
That's a good question.
or are they protected because the minors is part of the majors? Just kind of curious because I believe they should get the benefits of at least something. They're in somebody's farm system.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
know you
the
don't get
so
thousands,
the, so the
millions.
7 year deal will expire after the. Okay, hold on. 7 year will expire on the 2023-2024 season. Okay. Here, go down here, go down here. Okay. So another thing is the introduction of an upper spending limit. The league has reportedly proposed a system that will replace the luxury tax with a hard spending limit, something the Players Association have reportedly been against because 2/3 of the teams are below the current luxury tax threshold, which the other 10 teams are set to pay nearly 700 million, a league record in penalties. So more than half the totals due is just in three teams. Obviously, the Clippers, Warriors, and Nets, because obviously those three particular owners don't care. They'll spin to win. That's just who they are. Other hopes for CBA negotiations per Wojnarowski include dealing with broadcasting rights and regional sports networks, allowing high school players to enter the draft 18 years old, and in sensitizing players to not sit out or rest games during the season. Other thing here now. Actual stuff that's in here, but every article that I keep coming across is not giving me the whole doggone thing.
Well, I do like you gotta play. You gotta play to win MVP. That's so that's amazing. Um the resting the players, that's also a good thing. I mean, people pay to come see you play. So if you ain't injured, you get yourself out on the court and play, unless you got a serious injury.
Okay, now we just talked about the 65 game to be an MVP. In season tournament could arrive as soon as the 2023-2024
Yeah,
season.
I don't what is that?
The,
What's an in season tournament? What is
the
that?
event the event will include pool play games baked into the regular season schedule starting in November, with 8 teams advancing to a single elimination tournament in December. The final four will be held at a neutral site, with possibly Las Vegas prominent in the discussions. Um,
So
each
what is that? So are they trying to establish playoff spots early?
I don't know.
Because I don't understand why you're having what's a play what's I don't get that. I guess we're
Each
just gonna have to watch to understand, and then we can talk about it.
each in-season tournament game would count towards regular season standings. The two finalists would ultimately play an 83rd game that would not count in the regular season. Winning players and coaches will earn additional prize money.
What? What is the NBA doing? It sounds like they're gambling.
They're doing something, but I mean, I I'm okay with the playing tournament for the playoffs with the 17th.
That's
I'm
what they're
okay with
doing
that.
now. Yes.
I'm okay with that. At first, I wasn't a fan of it per se, but
Yeah, that's the facts. But
it's
I had to
it's
persuade
kind of
you.
growing on me.
It's more
It, it
basketball. Just think
it's
about that. It's
true,
more
true,
basketball.
true. I mean, that's how you felt when they expanded the first round from best of 5 to a best of 7,
Oh,
which
more yes. Especially if you get a series like we got right now with the Kings and the Warriors and the Knicks and the Cavaliers.
yes. But I think you just cannot sell me on an in season tournament. I
Like,
don't.
what does that mean? What are you shutting the season down and then certain teams play and certain teams don't? Is it like before the All-Star break or what?
Now, here is one thing I do think what should happen. Um, because as we've said many times, necessarily winning the division in the NBA really doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I think it should. Now, with that said, there's 6 divisions. I think that if you win your division, you automatically get one of the top 3 seeds in your conference.
I agree.
Then, let 4 through 10 play out however it plays out. Because here's the funny thing: the Miami Heat are the 8th seed, but they were a division winner. They won the Southeast Division, which again, I know divisions don't mean nothing to basketball, but that should mean something. I mean, that's something I would possibly discuss if I was part of the Players Association or the owners. Like, you know what?
That's a good
Make
call.
make being a division winner matter in the NBA, because I mean, really, if you really look at all the sports, being a division winner in the NBA really doesn't mean anything. Like it does in hockey. Um,
Doesn't
for
football.
it doesn't football. It doesn't baseball. So I mean, make it matter in the NBA. Why not? Because
And
I
then
mean, if you win your conference regular season tournament, if you win your conference regular season title in college basketball, you be the number 1 seed in your conference tournament en route to get to the big tournament. So
it just
that's
sounds so right. So it never happened because it just sounds
yeah,
so right.
yeah. Of course, thing thing things that make sense to us don't make sense to people running the stuff. So what do we know? We're just fans talking about sports, but what do we know? But so just to go over the recap. So we definitely like the Warriors to get back in Game 3,
I do.
like the Nuggets in Game 2, like the Heat in Game 2. He
Mhm.
likes the Knicks. I think the Cavaliers will even up, but like I said, it would not surprise me
Yes.
if the Knicks go up 2 games to none. We both like Boston to go up 2 against Atlanta. Unfortunately, and fortunately, are picking the team that wears purple and gold to go up 2 games to none against the Grizzlies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll leave it there. Um, Also, the Journey to Lord's Stanley Cup took place today
For the
in
double
some
overtime. We had a
very good playoff games to start. Um, Hurricanes got it slapped by the Islanders 2-1. Um, the Bruins, I don't see anybody beating them in the East. I think the Bruins will get to the Stanley Cup Finals. They beat
they'll win
Florida
it. They'll win
three to
it.
one. So, you're picking the Bruins to win the whole thing.
Who's stopping them?
The only team that could possibly beat them in the East is the team that's been there the last 3 years, maybe the Lightning, because it, you know,
Facts. True
they,
that.
they
Fact.
they've been there the last 3 years, won the
Facts.
cup 2 of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I can never count out the Lightning, but other than that, I don't see anybody being the Bruins to get to the Stanley Cup Finals.
No.
But yes, double overtime. The Minnesota Wild steal home ice against the Dallas Stars, and hopefully former captain of the Sharks. Hopefully Joe Pavelski's okay. He did suffer an injury. Hopefully he's all
Oh
right.
no. No, no, that's not good.
Yeah, not good at all. But the Wild get a huge win as Gustavsson had 51 saves
Oh,
in double overtime.
machine.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is
Somebody pay that man.
well, this is where goaltending gets very, very exciting in the National Hockey League, and
One of those pucks. Oof.
and that government. Unfortunately, the Los Angeles Kings came back to beat the Edmonton Oilers in overtime 4-3. Dang it, Oilers! You had one job. You had one job.
Who
But
cares?
nonetheless, good start to the Stanley Cup playoffs. 4 games tomorrow. The rain. Boy, now this is going to be a dogfight between the Rangers and the Devils in round 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be a dogfight.
New York
Um,
versus New Jersey.
yes.
Jersey,
So
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the double fan himself, Mr. Bootenknife, Mr. Antonio Ricardo Irizarry, will play close attention to that one. Also, speaking of the Lightning, the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Lightning will defend their Eastern Conference title against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Could this be the year the Maple Leafs finally make a run to the Stanley Cup Finals? That remains to be seen. Um, the Golden Knights hosting the Winnipeg Jets, and the Avalanche will start defense of their Stanley Cup title against the Seattle Kraken in their first
wow. The Kraken made it in their first year.
their second year.
Excuse me. Yes.
Their
Thank you.
second year, the Kraken makes the playoffs. So yeah,
Wow.
playoff hockey in Seattle, Washington. When they come home for Game 3 against the Avalanche, that place is going to
I
be
might have to chime in on that one.
raucous for
Agree.
the Kraken, but the Avalanche will start defense of their Stanley Cup title tomorrow against the Avalanche. So, with that said, anything you want to ponder on or talk about before we get out of here?
No, that I just can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah.
Even though with all the sports that is going around right now, with the baseball, playoff basketball, we got the hockey starting off with their playoffs and everything that's going around. I'm just ready for Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia to put the gloves on and just throw some leather.
Oh, by the way, thank you, New York Mets. They beat the Dodgers.
Oh well. Hear that.
Yeah.
I'll sip some H2O on that one.
And thank you to the Chicago Cubs. They took 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. So thank you, Cubbies.
Here. It's always a good day when Dodgers lose.
But the Mets have won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Playing some good ball. I really have to talk about this because I'm just if you haven't heard the story, the Mets were in Oakland this past weekend to play the A's, in which the Mets did sweep the A's.
Are we back on the possum?
The Mets broadcasting team had to move out of the booth because supposedly in the walls of the visitors broadcasting booth there is a possum living in the Coliseum. Okay,
Are you
Coliseum was
that
Coliseum was built in 1966, so it's had some history. But possums now, we're talking about possums.
It's like practice, man.
A game, not a game. We're talking about possums. Now we've already heard the infamous stories of sewage problems at the Coliseum. Okay, the Coliseum still has troughs, and if you don't know what a trough is, folks, look it up and Google it because a lot of stadiums back in the day built in the early years, they didn't have urinals or stalls for you to go number one. You had troughs. Oakland Coliseum is still one of the
Everybody lines up.
yes.
Line
up in the trough.
Whip it
and
out.
pee in the trough.
Yes.
Anyhow, Mets have won 5 straight. The Braves have won 7 straight. So the Braves and the Mets already in a pennant race in the National League East. The Milwaukee Brewers shockingly have a nice lead in the Central with exactly more Bob Uecker and more Miller Lite tastes great. That's filling. The Rays have kind of come back down to earth. Took a loss to the Reds, but the Rays still have the best record in baseball with a 14-3 record. Twins holding on to a slim lead over the Guardians of the Central, and Bruce Bochy has the Rangers in first place in the American League West.
Are we shocked that big head?
No, we're not.
All he got is
3 rings. So just to go across the scoreboard of Major League Baseball, on Patriots Day in Boston, the Angels spoiled the Red Sox Patriots Day with a 5-4 win. The Reds in Cincinnati handily beat the Rays 8-1. Rangers shut out the Royals 4-0. Grand slam by Pavin Smith gave the Diamondbacks a 6-3 win over the Cardinals in St. Louis. The Astros throttled the Blue Jays 9-2. And
Ooh.
the Pirates off to a nice start. They clobbered
Well,
the Rockies 14-3, and the Cubs just annihilated the A's 10-1. The Cubs had 10 runs on 20 hits. Yes, 20 hits. So actually, let's just
you might, you know what? You might as well just prepare to go start seeing A's games, bro. You might as well.
well, they were over the weekend against the Mets. They celebrated I want to say the 50th anniversary of
Oh,
the 1973 A's championship team. Of course, the Mets and the A's play of the 1973 World Series. That's the year Reginald Martinez Jackson started his Mr. October moniker. He was Mr. October as an A, not as a
yes.
Yankee. Like you said, he didn't go to the Yankees to be a star. He took a star with him. He was already established as Mr. October, but of course, it's all build bigger when you're in New York. But anyhow, even over the weekend when Reggie Jackson was being interviewed, he um, said it doesn't look right. And as quiet as it's kept, Reggie Jackson try to get a group together to try to buy the A's to where he would save them in Oakland.
Mhm. I didn't hear that.
No, this was obviously many years ago before the current ownership that
Oh,
is
okay,
there
okay, okay, okay.
now got there. But Reggie was trying to get ownership group together to buy the A's to where you could keep them in Oakland. Now the
Oh,
funny thing about now the funny thing about this is they easily could have been playing in Fremont and be the Fremont A's because
yeah. The
Cisco.
Giants said hell no to that.
Well, they said no to San Jose, but there were plans to build in Fremont. Cisco built in Fremont, and the only reason why it didn't get through is because I think the people of the city of Fremont was complaining about parking and stuff like that, which to where it did not get built. Which obviously it would have been built by now, and the Oakland A's would have became the Fremont A's of Oakland, for lack of a better term. It just seems like to me this Howard Terminal project. It seems like for whatever victory that they get, there's still no shovel in the ground, and there's still no cement being cement being mixed. And I'm just like, what's going on here? So everybody on the Cubs, with the exception of three people. Oh, no, that's the A's, not the Cubs. Okay. Everybody in the Cubs lineup had a hit, with the exception of three people. But
Mm,
everybody on the Cubs at least had one hit. Um, Cody Bellinger went 5 for 5 tonight against the A's, which he is having a productive stint with the Cubs thus far, batting 310 actually in the season.
yeah.
Um, Nico Horner, who just got a contract extension, rightfully so by the Cubs, he went 2 for 5, had himself an RBI. Ian Happ had three runs knocked in. Patrick Wisdom had 4 runs knocked in, as the Cubs getting off to a nice start with David Ross as their manager, sitting a couple of games back behind the Brewers. Also to close it out, the Braves shot the Padres, or the San Diego Fathers, 2-0. Milwaukee goes to Seattle. They beat the Mariners 7-3. Dodgers lose to the Mets 8-6. And the Tigers and Guardians were postponed, and the White Sox and the Phillies were postponed, and the Giants. Now, we were certainly not expecting Logan Webb to get off to an 0-4 start, and a lot of that is not his fault. It's been the fact that he gets no run support, and then the one time he does get run support, the Giants don't tack on.
Yep.
I understanding this baseball team now, granted, not having Mitch Haniger, not having Conforto
Yep.
does not help. You feel, and with Jock being on the IL, it doesn't help because you would feel pretty good about a middle of the order lineup with Jock, Henniger, and Conforto being your meat of the lineup,
That sounds productive.
which again, only 15 games in, so you still got 147 more games to go. So the season is far from over. So let's see what happens in June, and then if you be like, you know what,
Get out of June.
you know what, if it still is that way, you know what, just call up the kids and let the kids develop. But it's that. Anyhow, that will do it for this rapid fire edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show, where we talked about the playoffs, previewed game twos on everything, and at least my brother is 33% happy tonight because his Sixers did go up 2 games to none, as they will now shift to game three against the Brooklyn Nets. And of course, the USFL kicked off its second season, had some pretty good games. The Birmingham Stallions looked strong once again and showed why they are the defending champions.
Nice.
The New Orleans Breakers got off to a good start against the Pittsburgh Maulers, and nice that the Maulers changed their colors to go
Mhm.
with the black and gold style of the city of Pittsburgh, because that just seems to be the colors and everything when it
Exactly.
comes to a sports team from
Except the college team.
yeah, they're blue and gold, but they still have a form of gold in it. So there you go. So just to recap the weekend of week one of the USFL, the Stars beat the Showboats. The Philadelphia Stars beat the Memphis Showboats 27-23. The Birmingham Stallions beat the New Jersey Generals 27-10. The Michigan Panthers beat the Houston Gamblers 29-13, and the Breakers beat the Maulers 22-15. So next week, or this upcoming week, in week two of the USFL, you got the Gamblers and Breakers. You can catch that at 9:30 a.m. on USA. This is on Saturday.
Yes. Go watch it.
The other Saturday game will have the Showboats and the Stallions. That's at 4 p.m. on Fox.
Oh,
On Sunday, it'll be the Generals and the Maulers, 10 a.m. on NBC and Peacock.
ooh.
And the afternoon cap is the Panthers and the Stars
Can watch
on
all of it.
now. Over to, as we're getting to the nitty gritty in the XFL, as there's one more regular season week, and then the playoffs will start for the XFL. Scores over this weekend. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you, but give me scores. Scores, dadgummit.
Technology.
Press when it wants to.
Don't do
So, this past week 8, the Battlehawks of St. Louis beat the Vegas Vipers 21-17. No, that was last week. Okay. This past week in week 9, it was Houston just getting by Vegas 28-21.
these.
Orlando loses by 2, 25-23 to the San Antonio Brahmas. DC, who has already clinched their division,
Oh,
they beat the Renegades 28-26. And St. Louis falls to Seattle again 30-12. So next week, the season finale of the XFL before the playoffs start. You'll have the Guardians against the Battlehawks, the
I like the
Defenders against
Guardians in that one.
the
Sorry.
even in St. Louis
Yeah.
with that home field advantage. DC goes to San Antonio to take on the Brahmas, which that's where the championship game will take place in San Antonio. The Battle of Texas, the Renegades, the Roughnecks, and the Vipers will finish their season in Seattle. So, what we do know is this: the Houston Roughnecks have won the South Division.
Yes.
The DC Defenders have won the North. You'll have one playoff game on Saturday, the 29th on ESPN2 or ESPN. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific in Houston. Then Sunday, the 30th, will be at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific on ESPN or ESPN Plus or ESPN Deportes. The other slot will take place against the Defenders. So how it is you have your 2 division winners, and then 2 more slots will be filled to cover the playoffs. So right now, as we go to the standings, right now it's a battle between the Battlehawks and the Sea Dragons for that final spot in the North. They're both 6-3.
Ooh.
Yeah, they are. They both have the same Windugland record. They're 4-1 at home, or they're 4-1 on the road, and they're 2-2 at home. In the South, right now it's between right now. If the playoffs were to end today, it would be the Arlington Renegades going to Houston to take on the Roughnecks. So, depending how this pans out, we'll take now earlier. If we can find out when the last time they played each other, who has the tiebreaker in regards to the Battlehawks and the Sea Dragons. So they first played in week 2. St. Louis won the game. So if St. Louis wins their game to close out the season against Orlando, then it'll be St. Louis playing DC.
Okay.
And of course, if the Renegades win their game, would go and play Houston. Now,
Okay. Okay.
if it's the Renegades, if the Renegades lose and the Brahmas win, then San Antonio will get the spot due to the fact that San Antonio did beat in 15-9. So the season series ended a tie, so there might be a tiebreaker. But
Okay. Okay.
as it stands, if Arlington beats the Roughnecks, they'll get the spot. If San Antonio beats DC, they would get the spot over Arlington. Sea Dragons beat the Vipers. Sea Dragons would possibly get the other slot, but if the Battlehawks beat the Guardians, they'll get the spot. So we know that Texas team, one of the two Texas teams, will get the other spot to play the Houston Roughnecks on Saturday the 29th. And the other North Division winner, or the North Division wild card, will play the Defenders on the 30th, and then the championship game in prime time, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, on
Oh,
ABC in San Antonio.
well
So,
now.
so there is your spring football coverage. Now, before we go, one question before we go. How do you feel about JJ not signing the franchise tag and not participating in off-season team activities? Your thoughts on that, and then we'll close it out.
Well, he doesn't really have to be there. Number one, it's not like they're voluntary. If that's the proper word to say. What I read by Vinci Bonsignor is that this is a good move. They're probably going to wait till after the draft and this, that, and the third, because the Raiders right now are focusing on the draft. That there's no kind of pretty much he just said there's no time to negotiate his contract. It's not as smooth as everything as everybody else that has signed, especially with the draft coming up. So they're saying maybe after the draft it'll heat back up. I'm not worried. Josh Jacobs is not going anywhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's training on his own right now, which most of these players are doing on their own now.
Yeah, they train year round, so it's not like they're never gonna be in shape.
Yeah. So I think they'll get a long term deal done before July 15th. So I'm not too worried about what's going on with Josh Jacobs. This is typical star running back wanting a little break, and he can use this as his break instead of having to deal with the media and everything else with it. So
We
smart.
thank you for watching. We thank you for watching this rapid fire edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show. As we, of course, thank you to all our subscribers and our followers on the IG page, on the YouTube page. We just thank you. And who knows? You may get another a rapid refire show of tomorrow's playoff games. Just
Yeah.
stay tuned. But for now, we say thank you for watching. He is Mizzle. I'm Dub. And as always, it's 5 o'clock. Some damn way.
Yes, it is.
In
Yes.
Canada.